he needs to be able to find it as the leader
I understand that,
of the group.
Okay, whatever.
So if you go to the W10 study group, Wilderness Survival,
Yeah.
from the bottom, and then you just go to the W10 group meeting agenda.
Thank you. I passed by it like 10 times.
And then it has all of
Don't read them. Don't read them. Don't read them.
Yeah, just for your reference.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it yet.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hold on, Maggie. I got to do my meeting. So, does everyone have their document in front of them of what they scored?
Ish, yes.
Okay, pull it up. Get it out. And
I should go put it on the other screen over there, and I'm going to do that here. Oh, watch you! Look at you go! Watch this! Watch this!
What does it mean, total? The numbers, I don't understand.
So, no, hold on. Before in this, the only thing that we're going to have filled out right now is called.
Right, my ranking. So that's all I should have. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Don't worry about any of the other columns. Don't worry about them.
Okay.
I had two, Rebecca.
Okay.
Lonnie.
What's that?
Lonnie asked me to go over my preference and where I'm coming from. So I worked for the Boy Scouts for 15 years. I ran summer camps. One of the things I was taught early on was the rule of threes. And you can only last 3 hours without shelter in adverse conditions, 3 days without food, 3 weeks without water, and 3 months without love. But so things like, and the idea is we're going to get rescued in 5 days. So water tablets, low on the list. You actually don't need them. You can survive without it.
Well, we don't know if we're going to be survived or if we're going to be down in 5 days. We don't know that.
I'm aware, but I went through with assumptions that
you were going to.
What is the most important here is shelter. Because the tent's gone, because a lot of the other materials do not make a great shelter, I put the sleeping bags as number one. So that there is some warmth, there is some protection there.
So your general plan is to just hunker down and stay put.
Yes. And again, like I'm saying, this is from my personal understanding of what to do in this scenario. Because based on the information provided, which, as Lonnie said, is incomplete, and we don't have some of the stuff that we need to know to make these decisions. We don't know where we are. Now, it should be relatively easy to figure it out, but they said, we don't know. So the thing like the map and when you're lost in the wilderness, when you're actually lost, you're not supposed to move. I would argue that it's okay to move somewhat as long as you're keeping your bearings, which is why a map and a compass is good. However, since we have someone with a broken leg, it's actually really better not to move. So I did my based on that. So the other things I put high up were things I thought could make a shelter. So the duct tape, you can make an awning with it. I watched it on Mythbusters. Parachute cord, you'd use the duct tape and parachute cord to make a shelter. So those were high on my list. What else did everyone put as their number one?
I
put water with Rebecca.
Okay.
I put water. Number 2 is matches for fire.
I did too.
I put duct tape.
Duct tape is pretty good.
Was that to silence somebody, or was that for shelter?
So here's my thought process in the. Let me pull it up right here. Where's it at? All right. Oh, that's not it. That is my.
Yes, Maggie.
I put the map as number 2 because I thought nobody's getting out of here regardless if we don't have them.
Okay, here it is.
That was number 3. So we women are thinking the same way.
That's right.
Do y'all even know how to read a map?
Yes, sure.
Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it.
Laughing, Catherine.
So we know that we're in between. We're up in Minnesota / Canada area, right? The reason why you don't need water tablets is, have y'all seen the water up there? It's pretty pure. All the lakes are all off of mountain runoff and glacial runoff, right?
It's true, but there's still also a lot of bacteria and animals that are in it.
True. No, I get that. And so, I mean, yes, you can. There's a very small chance that you can pick up some life-threatening disease or whatever. Most cases, let's say even you're going to pick up a stomach bug that you can get rid of when people find you at a hospital, when you go get checked out, right? Right. So honestly, in my opinion, the whole water, you don't really need them because you have, for the most part, the water is pretty clean. You're not getting it out of the middle of a city that has a lake in the middle of it, you know, where they're dumping toxins, all that crap in. This is pretty pure water, straight source. Second thing, sorry, go ahead, Ben. I don't want to run the show.
Well, let me take a look at so what are the first things that we need to do in this situation, do you think?
My take was fix the canoes.
Okay.
Because
fix the leg, right?
What's that?
The broken leg, like get that steady.
Yeah, true. No, obviously get that steady. I'm assuming that it's a broken leg. It's a simple, or even if it is a compound fracture, I'm going to take some executive powers and say that the skin's not broken, and just it's a broken leg because they didn't mention anything. So cool, it's a broken leg. You would splint that, right? And you can splint with a belt and a stick, you know,
or one of the broken fishing poles.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't. But as far as your from what I read, I would actually go try to find help. That's what I would do. So I'd fix the canoes, and I put like duct tape. I put as number one. Number two, because I don't know what the canoes are made out of, I put parachute cord just in case we need to lash the two. What is it called? Give me a second. Where is it at? The gunwales. Just in case you need to lash the gunwales together with either the fishing poles or sticks or something, you want to fix the canoes. Why? Because in order to get out of here, you need water transportation. So that's my first two big ones is the duct tape and paracord for that reason.
Careful with your eyes. You're gonna hurt your eyes. Okay. Well, we're going to go through each of these, and we're going to try and get a general group ranking on what we think should be the best. And we're going to do that in C, column C in your papers.
Okay.
So, where do you guys think the fanny pack of food should lie?
Towards the end.
Number 7.
Actually, I should say middle. Mine's middle, number 9. So kind of middle range.
Okay. I have a 6, 7, and 9. I've heard. What else does people thinking?
I did mine. Mine is 8.
Perfect. So we're shooting right in the middle. Everybody is.
So 8's probably about average.
Okay.
If you had 6, 7, 8, 9.
Let's throw an 8 down there.
Okay.
Plastic covered map of the region. Where do you think this should be?
I think this is where we as a group need to. You know, I'm assuming we're allowed to change our opinions now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not thinking of hunkering down and staying there. That's not the kind of person I am. I just don't. It's not. So I think as a group, we should kind of decide, are we hunkering in place or are we trying to
move? That is true. The way they describe the canoes, they are soft-sided. By the way, Lonnie. So duct tape would actually fix some of these issues that there are there. My training tells me stay put. Personally, though, I'd have a hard time doing that.
I would want to move too. I want to go by myself.
Because who's to say they're gonna find you there? I don't know.
I thought we send 2 people out. Like I wouldn't want to travel with the broken
don't split up.
I would send 2 people out to go get help, but that's just me.
Yeah, I would too. You don't leave anyone alone, but you can leave markers and
Well, what I would do if obviously, so let's put ourselves in this scenario. We have somebody with a broken leg. Our options, in my opinion, are everybody move or send out an advanced party, basically 2 or 3 people who can go, cover ground fast. Cause you got to remember the closest town is 60 miles away. Let's put this in perspective real quick. So we have Grand Marius, Minnesota is 60 miles away. That's the closest town. The closest road is 15 to 18 miles away. So you're going to cover at least 18 or at least 15 miles to get to the closest road. And then you have another 40 to get to the closest city. Now, you could run into people. You may not. So let's plan for worst case scenario. You're going to be traveling 60 miles or 40 miles by foot. You can do about 22 miles a day. So that would take you
if you're hardcore.
Again, if that's booking it. And that's only on flat ground. That is not over terrain. So
Right.
flat, you can cover 20 to 22 miles a day, and then you have 15 to 18 miles of terrain in water to go through. You're going to be going maybe 10 miles there a day. So
See, that's the problem. By the time you were able to reach a destination, people, I mean, it's not that it's a bad thing, but people would already be expecting you to be missing. So they are
correct,
going to be looking.
well, yes, but the one thing that you would bring is you would bring knowledge. You know, you could
Right.
go to a clearing or go to a river and be like, all right, where the river splits by this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And you could explain it. Locals would give you a good understanding of where you're at, and you can mark it on the map. If you have a map, that makes it pretty easy. Anybody who would have any backpacking, I would assume one of us in this trip, hold on, let me see.
I mean, just in general, I would not want to sit around, cross my fingers that we get found within a timely manner, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
there's-
agree with you guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, but let's talk about worst case scenario. If we moved as a group, and this is the worst case, we have someone with a broken leg. He's first off going to slow us down. So why don't we
Truth.
shoot him now? No, I'm kidding. That's not the point.
Use the whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, the whiskey was a good idea for
I'm
cleaning,
just kidding.
but
Hey,
but
that
with the broken leg and part of it being in water, what happens if our repaired canoe has a leak, or if we run into something else and that guy falls in the water? I mean,
Right.
That
No,
is gonna be-
I get you.
Right.
Moving with a broken leg, strenuous at best.
I think
so
we all
either
agree-
we do as you're suggesting, send out an advanced party and the rest of us stay behind, or we all stay together, is my personal opinion on that.
and I
I would-
vote that we send a party of, yeah, how many people are there again?
There's
Okay, hey,
5 of
let's-
us, 6 of us.
6.
Ben,
Then
if it's
I
all
would
right with you,
leave-
let's say this is
Free
our
go.
party, right? We're the ones there. Who has a broken leg?
Not me.
I think
I know
Ryan
that-
does. He's not here.
Yes, that's
Who?
right.
Ryan?
Ryan does. Mhm.
Ryan has a broken leg. All right.
Yes.
And I knocked him out because he wouldn't shut up about his broken leg. So he has no voice in the matter.
And Keston, I don't know about you because I can't see you, but I'm very fit. I mean, I could run 15
Oh,
miles.
Keston's 6'5". He's 220 pounds of solid muscle. He has a beard 4 times as big.
Whatever. I know you're one of
Question
the.
at BYU,
I know you're leaving, Lonnie.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I could-
actually,
I could do
What's
that
that?
60 miles in 2 days easy.
see,
Okay.
with somebody on his back with a broken leg.
Yeah. Just throw them on my back.
No bigs. So now the next question. Sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
Go for it. So here we go. We do need to get these ratings in, and since we don't have a lot of time, we
Yeah, so
should.
let's go back to the ratings with the mentality.
We're sending an advanced party, but most of us are staying.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can go through this list by list, or we can kind of argue what we think is number one. How would you guys prefer to do it?
For time's sake, let's just go on the go item by item and
Yeah.
figure out a general middle consensus, the mean of all of our answers.
Ben, I think it's probably a little. I think it would be a little easier to start with the number 1 and go down. At least I think, because I can tell you what rank I think number 1 should be.
All right, let's do 1 through 3, and then we're going to do 14 through 12, and then we'll go through the rest of the list as one line by line.
Okay, so then I think number 1 is a plastic covered map to know how to go find.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
If we are sending an advanced party, they are going to need a map, and they're going to need the compass. They have to go together.
Yeah.
No one can triangulate on a map alone unless you're like, Baden Powell, or Jason Bourne. So map, we'll do 1.
Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls. Compass can be 2. What would be 3rd in this case?
Matches.
Okay.
For warmth for the people. I mean,
I'm I'm personally going to argue we need those sleeping bags for the warmth more than we need a fire.
They're wet.
They're synthetic.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's rainy right now, guys. It's drizzling, wet, and can we really use the matches in that kind of weather? Will it light the wet kindling?
Yeah, you just cover it.
you could talk me into the sleeping bags because I had them as 4, so I could justify 3.
Okay.
I had them as 4 as well, so whatever.
Kind of 7.
What number are they at? 3?
I had it as number 1. Let's go with 3 there.
All right.
So what's not needed? Number 14.
Whiskey.
Frisbee.
The frisbee. I feel that it's the last thing on our list myself. The whiskey.
I think the whiskey could be used for cleaning the wound. Wasn't there a big?
Yes, it also can be used as a fire accelerant to help on that wet wood. It burns pretty well. So I wouldn't put whiskey as number 14 personally.
No, but I don't know if I'd let you burn whiskey, man. That's a drink to waste.
It's an expensive fire.
Did we decide that number 14 was the frisbee?
Yes.
I put that one higher because I thought you could like catch rainwater to drink.
I thought you could use it as like a come find me.
I thought you could use it as a frisbee.
We're going to be bored sitting there.
You're going to be bored out of your mind sitting there, so might as well pass time, right?
Yeah.
No.
But in terms of importance, even if you can use it for all those things, I don't think it's that high.
Truth.
13, number 13. What is not as important this time?
So do we not think the personal flotation devices? I mean, the rescue team is going to need.
Right. That skews things with people going. I actually had it as number 13, the rescue devices, but I was hunkering down. So
I had it as number 3.
The flotation devices?
Yes.
Yeah, I have it as number 5. I mean, you need it if you're going to.
Absolutely
send
you
a group.
do. Yeah.
So maybe put that as number 4 since that's what's next.
I thought we did do matches as number 4.
Oh, I think, well, I'm waiting for Ben to say yes, but
I would not say matches as 4.
Okay.
You said yes, Lonnie?
I would, for matches, no.
You don't think you need matches?
My matches on my list are 13.
Well, you need fire.
Have you ever tried to start a fire with wet wood?
So flotation devices are 4.
When it's 20 degrees outside.
Well, there's other stuff you can burn. Branches and...
Everything's
Whiskey.
wet. It's raining on your head.
The guy with the broken leg.
Yeah, but but there's clothes. They said that you could burn the canoe wood once. They say the next day could be completely sunny.
It is true. It said weather is
dry it out.
able to change.
Correct, but anyways, I did not see me making a fire anytime soon. But then again, I don't ever get cold, so that's me.
So since we are actually trying to do both hunker down and sit in an advanced party, we really have to split our resources, which is also limiting what we have as a group.
Yeah.
This is the biggest drawback to doing this strategy. I mean, I would influence against it, but we're already doing this. So flotation devices, according to the map and according to what we know, a lot of it is over water. Right. Our advanced guys are not going to make it unless they have the flotation.
30% water, correct.
So I feel that needs to be high up. I would put that as number 4. We can do matches as 5. If we really feel that those are.
Right, okay. So
sounds good to me.
So personal flotation number 4 and matches number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Insect repellent also makes a great fire starter, but it's also useless otherwise.
I had that as number 13.
I did too.
I have it as 12.
Let's do it 13.
Okay.
12. Water purification tablets, in my opinion here, because we don't really need them.
Sounds good to me.
I have them as 8, but I don't care. We can put them at 12.
You said number 12? I disagree. I mean, I just feel like water is so critical.
It feels
no,
that way
it's
because
very
we hydrate so much, but you can literally survive 18 days, 21, 22 days without drinking a drop.
And Rebecca, not
So,
all water is evil water. I mean, you got to remember, 200 years ago, people didn't have purification tabs.
Yeah, but
so,
2 years
so
ago,
hold up though. Like, you're saying that water is less important than that fanny pack of food.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's well, no. Let me rephrase. Water's not. Water purification tablets are. Difference.
I think duct tape should be number 6.
I think duct tape should be number 1.
I actually just realized I messed it up. It is 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food.
Yeah.
So you can only survive for 3 days without water.
Boop, boop, ba-doop, boop.
It's you can survive 21 days without eating something, but you need
Yeah.
water within 3 days.
You
to
do need
survive.
water, but again, I don't think the purification tablets are. I've had so I went to college and I did a lot of backpacking up, and I used to drink from the streams there all the time. Now I realize I'm bald, but that's genetic.
I was like, how many runs did you get?
I was gonna say,
Never
I think
really.
that You
Oh,
could
good.
be throwing up, and that makes it harder for you to.
You could, but a bear could also come out and eat you. So I mean,
What would be more important, duct tape or water tablets?
duct tape.
What are you doing with the duct tape?
Fix a canoe.
You're gone. I thought you weren't. So you're fixing the canoe for 30% of water. What are you going to do with the canoe when you're on the land? You can't carry it with you. I mean, you're not
Yeah,
going
you
to
can.
take the canoe the whole time. So on a search and rescue, your plan is for 2 people to carry a canoe over land, hiking up the thing till you get to the next body of water.
Yes.
No, you'll get too fatigued too quickly. That's my thoughts. Anyone else?
Well, you have the flotation devices, so why are we fixing the canoe?
Yeah.
Because it's cold
duct-
and you'll freeze.
Duct tape duct tape is actually quite useful because there is no other thing on our list to make a shelter. With 30 feet of duct tape, you can make a tent, you can make a tarp, you can make a decent amount of things to allow us.
For shelter, you could even use the sleeping bag and the parachute cord. That could be your.
True.
But you're right. 30 feet of duct tape is a lot. That's not what Lonnie wants to use the duct tape for.
You might even be able to shut me up with 30 feet of duct tape.
Okay, then it's number 1. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Totally kidding.
30 feet of duct tape is not going to fix the canoe plus give you shelter. So I guess the question is, what at this point we've decided 2 are leaving, the rest are staying. With that in mind, what's the next most valuable thing?
Well, can we let's go through the list with the rest of this stuff. Fishing poles, broken. Anyone actually want to keep these?
No, because we're not moving the broken person. I mean,
We're
broken.
going 11 with that then.
11 with what?
Poles.
Broken fishing poles.
Okay. What was 12? I never got what 12 was.
Oh, water. I'm sorry. We were arguing about water purification. We'll do 12 with the broken fishing poles.
You really think we need whiskey?
No.
So let's do that as 11.
You haven't seen me after 2 hours of not doing anything. You might want to drink that just to get the annoyance of me going.
But see,
Just saying.
So whiskey.
that's why we're keeping Catherine with you. We're not splitting you up.
So
Okay, so
obviously we're the ones going out. Got it.
Are we doing whiskey as 11, or does someone have a strong case for whiskey?
I think whiskey should be 12.
I have it as 14. I don't think you need it, but if you guys need it, I'll let you have it.
I only thought because it could clean.
It can clean wounds. It has a lot of potential properties to it without drinking it.
So let's just do it
It
somewhere
is.
in the middle then. I mean, I had it at 6 before, but we were all moving at that point.
So Ben, what are we putting whiskey at?
Let's see here. We're going to come back to that because parachute cord, we talked about how important that is in all these different scenarios. We're going to do that as number 6.
Okay, parachute cord.
Over duct tape?
Yeah.
Okay.
Duct tape's number 1.
Well, not in our
Duct
list.
tape's not number one anymore.
Oh, in the list that matters, it's number one.
Okay, got it.
Okay, what about set of clothes? That seems not necessary. Maybe go 11 for that,
Sure, let's do that.
unless anyone else thinks the change of clothes is super important. I don't know.
The
Unless
only
we figure out a way to dry them out, which is going to be difficult. They're useless to us.
Yeah, the only reason you want to
I'm fine.
wear the change of clothes is just for more insulation, basically.
At this point, when we're talking survival, the most
Indeed.
important thing is that we keep dry, to be honest. And that's why shelter's really important, because with water becomes a lot of potential hazards. And so even wearing wet clothes for more insulation actually is worse. It'll wick away more of your body heat.
Yeah, I mean, no joke. I'm gonna grab Lisa or Catherine and get butt naked and huddle in a sleeping bag.
That is a perfect strategy. That is actually the best strategy.
But we're going to be drinking our clean water, though.
I forgot.
No, Rebecca, I'm going to get Catherine and we're going to be butt naked.
Oh, that's true.
Okay? Trust me,
Let's do these water purification tablets as 7.
What?
Oh, sorry. We have. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's take 6 off of parachute cord. All we have left is parachute cord, whiskey, duct tape, and water purification tablets.
And a fanny pack of food, unless we're keeping that at 8.
That is true.
Are we keeping that at 8? I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
It's good as an 8 still.
8 it is.
Let's do whiskey as what, 10?
Whiskey's 10. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parachute cord. Oh, it's so useful.
I thought we had that at 6, no?
6.
Okay, then let's do 7 for duct tape.
8 for
and
water
8
purification.
for-
Oh, 9 actually. 8's the food.
Yeah, 9.
Oh, yeah.
Can't believe it's 13.
All right, we're gonna bomb against the experts.
Hold on, where did you put whiskey?
Whiskey is 10.
Oh, I wrote it twice. That's
So
why.
I'll read it from the top down. What I have is 8, 1, 4, 12, 11, 14, 9, 7, 10, 13, 5, 6, 2, 3. Is that correct?
Yes.
There you go.
And I want to let you know I'm not very good at taking this seriously, because if this were an actual survival situation, I would be much more harsher in trying to sway you guys towards what I put down, because my brain goes into emergency mode and I wouldn't sway on what I felt was wrong.
I could pick it right now, trust me.
So where
Otherwise,
did we,
I'll have to
sorry, where did we put insect repellent?
13.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a look at the expert rankings. Background for the experts. The correct answers are based on the opinions of Jeff Stemmermine and Ken Geiske, who are both part of REI and act as guides for canoe trips to this region we're going to. They agreed that the best course of action was to repair one of the 2 canoes and send 2 of the most experienced and least injured people to paddle to a road and go to Grand Marais for help. Well, they did great with that. Because the search party would not even leave for at least 5 days and might not find the group for a couple days more, this would cause severe hardship on the group, particularly the one with the broken leg. Food is way down and there is minimal protection from rain and cold, since the tent and tarps were lost. Cold and rainy weather at this time of year is life-threatening, so the group must get to help as soon as possible. It is estimated that the group of 2 would move faster than if everyone went along and if they could get to help within 1 day. Good thing you guys swayed me.
Are you kidding me?
Then a helicopter could be sent to the campsite. First priority then is to go for help. However, in order to do this and survive, it is important to get warm and to get dry, since it's wet clothing and sleeping bags. So since it has started in drill and may rain, there's no assurance that things will get dry soon. In that case, the party of 2 needs to leave quickly in wet clothes and take their wet sleeping bags with them. There is almost no food left, most of it having been lost in the rapids. About half should go to the 2 paddlers who have less time to gather food, but who presumably will get to a food source sooner. The experts said as long as they have water, they could go for 3 days without food and still function adequately. On the 3rd day, they'd get shaky. Those left behind can try to catch some fish to eat. Oh, gosh. Okay. We screwed the pooch here. Based on these opinions, the expert rankings are, and you're going to put these down in D, column D. 1, duct tape.
Boom.
You cheated. You looked ahead. Just kidding.
No, I didn't. Catherine cheated.
I cheated. That's why I kept my mouth closed.
Oh,
But my rankings are still really jacked up.
Okay.
So 1 is duct tape. And it says the reason is the most essential thing because it's the only way to repair the canoe that we need for this. It can be used to patch up the, let's see, other uses for the tape, repair the fishing poles, set the splint for the broken bone. You can fashion a makeshift pan to boil water. Caution must be used to keep the tape far enough away from the flame though, so you don't melt it. PFDs, number 2.
What was number 2? Sorry.
Personal flotation devices, sorry, PFDs. These are mostly useful because to keep the body wear. That's probably supposed to be warm. They can be worn as vests to keep the torso warm. Oh my gosh. Sorry, so many typos. Let me read it to you as it says. These are useful mostly because they keep the body wear. They can be worn as vests to keep the torso warm or used as sit pages or pillows on wet clawed ground. Okay, so
And remember, these are experts. They know English.
so they can be used as to keep the core warm. The core being your chest area, or you can sit on them so you don't. So you're getting yourself away from the wet ground. Okay, number 3, map of the area, since we're sending people out. It would be impossible to navigate without it. 4 is sleeping bags. Important to keep warm, both for paddlers as well as those staying behind. They will provide warmth because they're synthetic, even though they're wet. But you should try and dry them out as soon as possible. And they will dry out pretty fast in the day. They can be used day or night for that warmth. Number 5 is matches.
Your video's going to end in a minute and a half, just so you know.
Okay. Number 6 is food. Number 7 is clothes. And it says when it stops raining, they could be dried out, and this will greatly increase the chance of survival. Number 8, fishing poles, because they want you to fish for your food. Number 9 is parachute cord. And it has very useful for many reasons, including keeping things dry. 10 is insect repellent.
Wow.
Where is it? There it is. 11 is water purification tablets. 12 is that yellow frisbee. The survival value it gives is to heat water or to cook fish in it.
Yeah, like a pan.
13, compass. Not as important as the map because they're going to be using the waterways. 14, whiskey.
Okay. And we have less than a minute. Who's going to post on the discussion board? Are you going to do it?
I'll do it.
You don't mind? Because I can do it if you don't want to, but I would love it if you would do it.
I will do it.
Thank you.
So what about these other columns? Individual error? How do we
So when you do, actually, you're going to need these numbers, Ben, because when you do individual error, it's subtract column B from D or subtract D from column B, and you don't use negatives. Keep them all positive and tally them up.
So what's the difference?
Average group score.
Okay.
Or average score on that discussion board. So I'm wondering if we should all figure it out and then just email you our answers. So then you can average them out and put them on the discussion board.
I don't